We'll call the June 2024 workshop meeting to order. First item of discussion, consideration to select a firm to manage the recruitment and hiring process of the new town manager.
I would like to see what Rob's got to say.
Yes, we'll turn that to you, Rob.
What is that? Look at that sign. He gave you a look.
Now give me a
All
look.
right, Nicole has done a lot of the footwork on this.
Okay.
She recommended two for you to consider.
Okay.
I think they're all very reputable. You do have a little bit of history with the Berkeley group that he's working, and they know you, that might be a benefit. Would be a good fit in the candidate. But, unless Nicole has anything she'd like to add to that.
Please, ma'am.
Put her on the spot.
I mean, like I said, I think all three are reputable. They've been very communicative with me. And they even, followed up to see, what the status of the decision was, and I told them I'd let them know. So I think either of government HR US or SGR would be good choices. Of course, one's slightly more expensive than the other, so cost might be a consideration.
Well, am I correct in looking at Berkeley was $30,000
Yes.
to do it?
These are cheaper.
And the SGR was $28,900,
Yes.
and the MGT is $25,000.
Yes, ma'am.
In your opinion, there's just like $4,000 difference. Is there anything that this SGR one would help us with better than the MGT?
I mean, the scope of services are very
I think they're pretty
comparable.
complicated. Okay.
The thing that I see looking at these is that Berkeley Group is local, and these people are Northbrook, Illinois, and Keller, Texas, and we are from little old Appomattox. And the people for the most part, from Berkeley Group are pretty much local, and they kind of know the feeling of the area. That matters. That really matters. It matters a lot.
I mean, I will say that's where they're headquartered, but these have consultants, like for example, the MGT, Mr. Lane Bailey. I mean, he got his MBA from Appalachian, so same place as me. And he worked as a town manager in Virginia. So,
I mean, where in Virginia? Timbuktu, or I mean, really? I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying, like in the western part of the state, it's a big difference.
And then I wonder if it's like Indeed. Like, say I want to be a town manager, am I signed up with all of these? Who's to say that these potential applicants aren't with, maybe they're not with Berkeley Group and something, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe they're in multiple pools somewhere waiting to be pulled. I don't know that. But I'm just thinking, like, when in my job searches, that's what I've done, gone to more than just one search company.
right.
And I know they won't tell us that, but I'm just trying to think, are they
Right.
all kind of the same? Do they all have a bunch of applicants?
Berkeley Group wasn't on the ICMA list. Both of these were vetted by ICMA, so the International City County Manager Association, which is very reputable. So they have contacts that, I mean, just really what's important to you.
Because in the past, Jane, we have actually had people fly in to be interviewed from all over the country. And
That was just us advertising.
yes, and it was,
Yeah, we don't want to waste a lot of time, but you want
Well,
to,
we also got applications from people who manage doggy daycares too.
Amen.
When you put the word manager in anything,
Yeah, it pulls anything.
Yeah,
I
it
gotcha.
or the librarian, and I mean,
I gotcha.
Mr. Mayor, has your brother been in contact with you?
A little bit about doing something like that, but he hadn't put out a proposal.
Yes, I've been in talks with him, trying to get his wife to submit something. I mean, you talk about somebody who's hometown, that has actually done the job as being a administrator like that. I think it'd be a good resource that we need to track down and see if it's workable.
when Steve talked to me about, he called me to talk to me about, and Mindy's not from Appomattox. She's, but that's fine. He said to me, and maybe he'll change his mind, she does not want the position.
I understand.
But-
Yeah.
But she
No,
would be
they-
willing to help us make a decision when we interview people. That's all I could get out of him. That she's very knowledgeable, yes, she is, and that,
She's
she
been
would
through a
be
lot
willing
on
to.
her health, and
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think we've got to,
That's what he told me.
If y'all want to postpone it and entertain a proposal from Mindy, that's up to y'all to discuss.
I mean, I think we could still pick a company and, who would sit on the interviews? You mean to have her like with the interviews or to
A
have her go
proposal
through
for
it?
exactly what, I'm asking Mayor.
I would assume she would be doing something similar to this on the job search field, is what we would be expecting of her. Find
Exactly.
us necessary candidates and get it weeded down
Yeah,
to
that's what he said.
2 or 3, and then we step in and take on the final phase of selecting a proper town manager.
Do you know that she intends to?
I do
submit
not
a
know. I
proposal?
have not talked
Because
to
we
her.
asked for proposals and we haven't. didn't see
I
one
understand
from
that.
her.
That's
And
the
I
only
talked
thing.
to
If we don't
Steve.
want to wait anymore, unfortunately, we're going to have to move forward with it. But if y'all want to delay it until we can get a proposal from Mindy, that's fine.
If we knew that's what she was
I'll,
wanted and had the intention to do. But
it looks like if she was, she would have
that's what I'm
made
saying,
moves.
we asked
We,
for.
we need to make moves. too.
yes, that's
I don't want
what's
to,
your part. We do need
Yeah,
to
I
make a
say
move.
let's choose from one of these,
I'm, and I think
but
Berkeley Group is good. They're more expensive than these other folks who have a wide scope of looking at folks, and you all's opinion carries a lot of weight with me.
I guess you could always go back and negotiate with any of them on that.
Prices.
I would think you have had a working relationship with a piece of Berkeley Group. I don't know if that makes you feel better, or if it would help in the search for someone that might be compatible. I don't know. But that's what these firms do. I mean, they
Because I would imagine the Berkeley Group does look high and low too, along with these
Yeah.
people. I would imagine that.
I think all of them do. I think
Yeah.
they take your
So
information
I mean, it's
and
not like,
try to find the best.
they're only
fit.
gonna look like in the 5 counties that surround us. I don't think that's the way it works.
Well, we could make the Berkeley Group a proposal of if they will do it for 25. Otherwise, we got somebody else.
Can we negotiate them legally as far as contracts to the,
I
If
think
it's a
you can
contract, I think you
ask.
could.
Absolutely. I mean, you're paying for a product.
That's right.
Never hurts to ask, say, hey, we can do this, or can you do that?
Yeah, that's like no different in real estate, a contract like that.
I mean, I'm in favor of doing that if they would entertain the kind of reducing their cost a little
Reduce
bit.
the price.
Well, you want a motion that,
May I ask a question? I don't know if you would want to entertain just posting a job description while you make this decision, because the longer you delay, most people want to make changes July, August, especially if they have kids. So the longer you delay, so I don't know if you want to just post it while you're making this decision, and we can internally vet some applications.
Who's gonna see that when if we post it like you're talking about, who will see it? any different than us going with one of these groups?
Where would we post it?
I mean, I would just post it on Indeed, LinkedIn, like use free resources on my personal LinkedIn.
VML and,
But, I mean, like, if I
Vaco.
wanted to post it on
Vaco.
ICMA and all that, there's gonna be a cost associated. So I'm not suggesting post it anywhere that there's a cost associated, but we already have an Indeed account. You could certainly post it. I can put it out on my personal LinkedIn, anyone can. And I have a very large LinkedIn connection, so I'm just thinking about time.
because VML and VACO, all they have, not all they have, but the majority of what they have are town and county administrators. And they might be looking for a move or, well, we don't know. But we did that before and that was pretty
Why don't we authorize you to go ahead and do what you're talking about? And in the meantime, we also authorize Rob to talk to Berkeley and see if they would accept a $25,000 fee from us to do this.
And
I
Claudia,
mean, all
If they
they
won't,
just
we
so
can make a difference.
just so I'm clear in the minutes, what are we advertising her to post? Because we don't have a job description. We were gonna allow am I right? We were gonna
Oh,
allow
yeah.
the firms to create the job description.
Oh,
Yeah, see, we might would be putting the cart before the horse to,
I think so.
Yeah, I think we need a professional
well, then we just
company.
why don't we just authorize them to see what the Berkeley group will do, if they'll come down to 25 and take us on, and okay, and if not, well, we'll go with these other folks.
Is 2 weeks gonna kill us?
Well, you do have a job description. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be fundamentally changed from when you
Yeah.
hired for Terry, is it?
I think we
I mean,
can get
they're
think
gonna,
so.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the companies here, I mean, they're gonna do a whole profile on the town of Appomattox. We're not gonna do that. Like, we're gonna simply list your KSAs, your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, what the main duties are. So unless I'm mistaken, I don't think that that's gonna be fundamentally different.
I had sent an email to Drew and asked him a question. We should have an answer in a day or two,
Okay.
and we can let you know what they say. And you can either tell us to proceed or not to proceed. I think Nicole's right. I think she obviously has an understanding of what the job is. It's I think what the firms kind of do is match and look at history and backgrounds of people. So,
Play the magic.
Will that work?
we can do it.
I'll make a motion that we have Rob contact the Berkeley group and offer, see if they will do the work for 25,000.
You don't know if you don't ask.
That's right.
Remember what Paul Harvey used to always say and laugh.
Yeah.
There's only 3 answers. Yes, no.
But Nicole is right. I mean, this is the time to
Act
try to
quickly.
get somebody to
And
make a
then
move.
If it's okay, then if Nicole thinks it's okay, then let her go ahead and do what she's got. Is that okay too?
Yeah, in the meantime, get
I mean,
people,
it won't hurt. I
You
don't
get
see
the-
where that would hurt us.
It'll get the notice out there that we're looking.
Yeah.
All right. So I move that we do both of those items.
yeah, because we've got at least 2 weeks and, you know, you may get something happening, you know, until we can meet again and.
Agree. Okay. So do we need to vote on that? We have a motion and a second? Or do
Well,
we
it's
just
to
gonna do it
spend
by consensus?
$25,000 if they agree. I don't know. What do y'all think?
We'll go ahead and split these things up to start with. Maybe make this whole process a little bit easier. So we have a motion to negotiate with the Berkeley Group. Who wants to second that?
Me.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed, no. Motion carries. This require roll call because of the amount of money?
Yes.
Yes, sorry, thank you. All right, roll call vote. Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Boyce?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Puckett?
Yes.
Ms. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Simpson is absent. My vote 5-0, motion carries. Entertain a motion to allow HR to post the job on prospective job sites, which is at no cost, no expected cost to us.
I make a motion, we let her post, get the search going.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item 2, consideration to advertise Public Works Director job description. We're going to try to fill it before we get a town manager. Is that the consensus of the group?
That we what now?
Fill it before we get a town manager.
Well, I think whatever comes first, we take whatever. I mean, if we get a town manager first, great. If we get a public works person that suits us, we'll fill that one too. Whichever one comes first.
I think in their package is a job description for that.
I think it's a very thorough one, very good one.
I don't seem to have that.
Up there under that colored sheet of paper. Under that one, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Don't say anything about getting in the ditch and helping. I don't see that on there.
Other duties as assigned.
Oh, no, other duties is required.
I think they ought to be in ink. You will be.
It does say they have to
You
get out there
shall.
in mud and,
And you get the groundhogs too now. We got that out.
It really should, I'm with Timmy because it wasn't so long ago, we had a huge controversy over that. Why was he doing things like that? Was that favoritism? I sat here and listened to that out of our former town manager. I sat here and listened to that accusation, and which I was like, what? Well, we won't revisit that again, but I think some of that should be in black and white.
well, if you'll look on
So
work
we
and,
don't have to go through that again. That was traumatic.
I'm not sure what you're referencing, but if you'll look at page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Says they visit active construction.
Work environment, work is primarily performed,
Visiting is different.
field visits to active construction project sites, often in inclement weather conditions with muddy or
On
icy.
page 5, okay, we going 1, 2,
Yeah, it's on the front and the back of that one.
of 1 and 2.
The physical demand section there?
Under the, it'd be under the work
what-
environment.
Yep,
Bottom, yeah, start to the bottom.
we have it in ink.
Then it has the physical demand.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we're not gonna make them do that on the job interview, you know? Let's see your work boots. Are we- Okay, I'm just asking. Do you know the difference in gravel and sand and
I mean,
pebbles?
you think about it for the size of crews that we have.
Yeah,
I know in COVID, they had crews alternating when they could be together so we wouldn't expose everybody, but, I mean, to me, if we hire somebody, they ought to be able to get in the ditch if they have to.
And be willing to do it.
That's who I'm looking for.
David does it all the time.
If not, they're gonna meet the individuals who are irate and hostile.
I think
That's
what
right there.
Nicole provided us on this is very thorough and
I don't want to
engages
go through
almost
any of
every
them.
aspect of what we require.
Well, I'll make the motion that we instruct staff to move forward with the
Posting?
posting of the job description and see if we can get somebody as soon as possible.
I mean, I guess in the physical demands, like if you need to be able to work machinery and know how to operate it, then that might, if that's what you're gonna expect out of somebody, you might wanna put that in there. Cause you've got like office stuff, but if they need to be able to, I don't know what kind of machines they have, you know, the.
All of it.
From a shovel to a
Other than
track
a
hoe.
bulldozer, I can't think of the names of stuff, but you get what I'm saying? If that's your expectation, in all honesty,
Backhoe and
because even if they're a truck driver, they may not know how to use the, whatever those
The
tools are.
snowplow?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying,
No, I understand.
if that's what you
I think it's
expect.
gonna be more of a rarity when they have to do that.
But
Right.
Management is their main
If they're
focus.
key, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you also
just
cover that in
thinking.
the interview.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean, and I think, again, field visits to active construction project sites, often in inclement weather. They're gonna be responsible to go to various town and community facilities, you know, so we would expect them to have familiarity, you know, with the wastewater, the water plant, all the facilities.
so, and this, once it's advertised, this will be open for anyone, someone also who is currently working in the area.
Yeah, anybody
Yes.
can apply.
So that's,
I mean, you know, we would encourage anyone to submit application.
All right, we have a motion, need a second?
second.
Motion made and properly seconded. I mean, look, if somebody doesn't mind getting their hands dirty, doesn't mind getting down in the ditch, is able to,
Yeah, you can count me out.
understand
I
that.
won't be trying.
But, nor will I. But, there's a lot to it.
We would probably have a terrible insurance liability if we put me on one of those.
Nicole, I don't know if you can, well, let's go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. I don't know if you can stagger the two positions out when you place them on these sites to give it, I don't know if it's even necessary. I'll let you use your judgment on that.
I can.
Okay. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
see what happens.
maybe it's both at the same time, and like, as Mary Lee mentioned, we want one as soon as we can get one. Whichever one it is. All right.
My concern with the small group of workforce you have, if you got somebody sitting in the truck saying you go do this, go do that, go do that, it ain't good to me in relationship with your workers. You know, doing what I do at school, I don't ask them to do nothing that I
Anything
don't
that
do.
you wouldn't
Right.
be willing to do and
At
do.
any time.
And,
But
and I think, you know, that would be important for the hiring committee to ask that question. You know, that
Yes.
this is a management position that's very hands-on, and, you know, talk to us about your experience in being a hands-on manager. What does that look like for you? And ask them to give real-world examples. I think you can really vet that through the interview process, and you should, because that's important to you.
That's correct.
Yeah.
you know, you have 10 to 12 people and the flu, stomach bug, anything go around, they knock her in half your crew.
Right.
But we still gotta fix the water line, get the sewer going, and come in and make sure everything else is running. And they gotta be able to do that.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we was in the city of Lynchburg, it'd be a whole different thing. But we don't have it with so many people. And, I don't know, the job descriptions is a whole lot more than what we had in the past, I think, which is, it's fine if, I don't know if we've evolved to that point yet, but you've done a good job on that.
Yes, you did.
But I feel like we need to have somebody that, not that he even have to get in the ditch, but will get in
Will
there
if
and help to
need
get it done so
necessary.
they can go on.
Well, I can tell you, Gaynell Hart in Lynchburg, when it snows, she's out there working. She's the
I
director.
believe it.
Yeah.
So,
From
yeah.
a shovel
Well,
to
you
a
know, when you think
snowplow.
about it, probably all of them are expecting that. I would hope so, if they've been anywhere.
It goes a long ways
We
with your
you
staff.
really
Yeah.
want somebody with that experience already under their
Yeah,
belt.
yeah.
And it works good. Having somebody just come out of college has got all the fine degrees and stuff. when the stuff's hitting the fan, it ain't worth a nickel to you. Especially when it's contacting his phone, ain't that big.
For
Well,
my personal,
and we did say we wanted 5 years of progressively responsible
Yes.
experience, so we don't want, like, I mean, we
No,
don't
we're
want
not
someone
getting
that
somebody straight out.
necessarily just has.
We're not getting somebody who hasn't been through it all before they went to college and then comes out. That may be an appropriate thing, but we're not gonna get somebody fresh out of high school and college. That's the main thing there. From personal experience, we were very fortunate in hiring our Director of Engineering at WSET. He's the healthiest one in the group, I know that for sure. One of our folks has been there since 1978. Still, he was there at 4 o'clock this morning, so.
Look at you, have
And all of
something in the
us,
dish, you had to do it for him.
well, if it ain't going on the airwaves, he's the first one that fixes stuff and calls the rest of us in to fix something he can't. So we got a very good small team, and the small teams are where you
And I'm
you
hoping,
need
praying we'll
a
get that way
contributing
here
working manager.
again.
All right. Move forward with that. Thank you, ma'am. Third item, consideration to adopt the appropriation resolution of the Appomattox Town Council adopting the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Ms. Kim, you got any further comments on the budget?
I have no comment. We've had it out in the public for actually longer than required, so we've met all the public requirements, so I think it's time to adopt. Everybody's okay with that.
Give everybody a moment, take a quick perusal. Or a quick final perusal, I should say.
And we may have some amendments once we get over the new year, but that'll be our starting document right there. But I'll have that book and printed for you next time.
All right.
Make a motion we adopt.
Right here, I
I'll
guess.
second it.
Yeah.
I do want to, before we vote on it, I do want to thank the staff for their extensive work on preparing it and providing us with all the information we've requested. We went through a little different process on the donations, but I think we did it appropriately.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? By roll call vote, Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Boyce?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Puckett?
Yes.
Mr. Simpson is absent. Ms. Spiegel?
Yes.
By a vote of 5-0, the budget is approved for 2024-2025. All right.
Music to Kim's.
At this time, the next item on the agenda is council comments. Once council finishes, I'll make a quick comment myself. Ms. Spiegel?
Just want to remind the public, it's on Saturday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Where we're going to have the town fireworks. But before the fireworks, there's going to be a toucher truck, there's going to be whatever Liberty Baptist is something, advertising something, fire, something, I don't even know what they're going to do. But it's going to be
Can I have the fireman's comp? Okay.
and touch a truck, that's going to be fun.
All right, they won't get the field watered.
I would not want anybody to miss our fireworks display.
The fire department is going, I think Mr. Cole is irrigating his field a little bit, but we're going to put additional water on it before that
Because
fireworks.
everything is so dry.
Ms. Puckett?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Garrett?
Nothing.
Mr. Boyce?
Nothing?
Ms. Allen?
Nothing.
Trying to remember what I was, that derailed a train here.
Please don't.
One thing I want to make sure that we as a council work on is a strategy session, so if you can, we'll do it, so we can get it proper. Sometime in July, let's get together and figure out how we're going to run through the rest of our terms of 2024. And once we get past the elections, I would hope we would have a rehashing of that and make sure that the incoming council, we'll probably do it in January, probably be more appropriate, another strategy session for how they want to run council. One of the things we got out of our training at the retreat sounds like a very good idea. I'd like to see us move forward with that. 100-year anniversary. Do not let that slip off your plate, because we want to make sure we do something to make the people of the town proud of us, of the town being here for 100 years. I think we've done a fine job so far. Let's make sure we can showcase that. All righty. Thank y'all.
I think Mr. Simpson's been working on that.
Yes.
I did speak with Carolyn Davis, and she said that the Historical Society would love to help, however,
Okay.
they would hope to be included, so.
Be more than happy to have them on board. I'll do a formal appointment. If y'all know anybody in the community that's interested, bring your names to us at the next council meeting. That way we can see if we can get a committee together to act appropriately and provide information, ideas on how we can do all
We
this.
have some businesses that
Yep.
have been for 50 years. and
Well,
that I can think
every
of.
input is appreciated.
If, you know, if they would want to put something, their 2 cents in.
Maybe it's something we put out.
Not to leave anybody out, but I mean, there are businesses.
I'd like to, maybe we
Been
publish
here for
something in the
years.
Times Virginian, post it on the website, asking for committee members, activity volunteers when we get there, and input from any citizen of the town or the county, and about the town and the businesses as well, because they are an integral part of what we do. All right. Standing committee. Finance.
Nothing to see.
Infrastructure.
I don't have anything.
ARPA.
We haven't,
We haven't done it. How much have we got unallocated at this time? And when do we have to allocate it by? Okay, so y'all keep that in mind as well.
By December 31st.
And then 26, we gotta have it spent by, we gotta have planned by December 24, and so, we had sunk it, a lot of it into things. We've got some upcoming things about the town office that we're gonna have to, look into and accommodate. We'll see how the proposal's gone out, or the contract's gone out to assess the building, and we'll see what we have to take once we get the reports back on that.
To correct it, you're talking about.
Yes,
to
ma'am.
correct it. Yeah. What about the corrections that are,
We're gonna get a professional
DRSA.
assessment of the corrections.
because not all of those are ADA.
Sometime before the next council meeting, Rob,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
look over the Versa risk analysis and see which
All of
items
that.
we need to
Pages of
get
it.
corrected?
With
Yeah.
pictures to go with it.
Yeah, I did send them out to David and Tori. We've got a plan for the basement with Tony Construction. We're trying to, Christie and Tori fixed some of the issues. Some of the issues are not issues. But yes, we've corrected some of them. Some of them are gonna probably be a little more extensive with the electrician and the wiring, that type of stuff. But yes, we will work on knocking those out. It's my understanding that they will not come back and inspect. It was just assessment of what you have, but it's in best. There's some training we need to do. Right, you know, reach out to Nicole and Tori to make sure we're meeting those needs for our public works staff. But yes, we're
The
alive and
electrician,
well.
do we have an electrician that we normally use? Is it Henderson? I mean,
I'm
I'm
not
just
sure.
asking.
I would check with Tori on that. I'm also reaching out to get proposals for the HVAC system and the 2 dehumidifiers. And probably basically for anywhere we have HVAC equipment to have them serviced and maintained. And hopefully we'll be bringing those to you for approval very soon.
okay.
Staff reports. Nicole, I'll let you go first tonight.
So, on my report, we've already discussed recommendation 1 for the group, so we have a plan forward with that. Number 2 was the Director of Public Works. The spreadsheet I provided for you shows the base compensation on a fiscal year and then overtime on a calendar year, 22, 23, and then year-to-date now. Because I was recommending that we classify the positions of Treasurer, Director of Public Works, Director of HR, and Director of Community Planning and Zoning as exempt positions. So those positions on the executive line. But we, would need to look at current salaries to accommodate overtime. And you can see what we're spending on that spreadsheet. And then I also just wanted to request, I noticed in the handbook that there was a personnel committee. I don't know how often that meets, but we need to look at the employee handbook and make some updates. It hasn't been updated since 2016. So those are my recommendations and requests, and then just some updates for your information, and I'm glad to answer any questions.
Are you actively working on updating the handbook?
I've been working on that and a lot of compliance matters.
And the thing that came up about the noise, I was asked by Susan Adams. She texted me and wanted to know what our noise ordinance was. And I said, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you, which I did, because Christy and I were back and forth. The town doesn't have a noise ordinance. I think the county might have one, but I didn't imply that. Her bottom line was she wanted to know, because the second Saturdays or second Fridays that they're having, she's on the Railroad Festival Committee now. Do they need to cut the noise off at 10 or 11?
They'd be better off if they never started it if you heard it. That was horrible.
It was a bit of it. Oh,
Thank goodness I'm far enough away on my side of town that I didn't hear that.
It's got to be one of them, the more you drink, the better they sound. I have no clue.
That was one of the bands that was really expensive, I think, and like a big deal for the Railroad Festival. It's a very popular band. I mean,
They were the worst.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, we went. We walked by there. I was trying to support it. It wasn't enough support there. I will say that.
We could sit on our front porch and hear it.
Yeah. But I mean, they always
Loud and clear.
they always did.
I did hear it.
When they
at
did
all.
Friday Cheers before, I think they were like 5 to 9.
I can't even remember, because
And so I don't know if that's because of a noise ordinance or what.
Well,
We used to have a noise ordinance, I think, because of Thomasville. Many years
Yeah, we do have some regulation.
Anyway, whatever Christy
Stop
came
work
up
at 10
with, I
o'clock,
said
I know.
10 o'clock, but
So if the band's getting paid, they gotta quit.
the verbiage is so outdated. We need to,
It's
we
10 to
really
8.
need to,
But it says no whistling.
things like that, you
It
know,
has very specific, like.
singing
We did look at that a couple of years ago.
and laugh.
Well, it's, part of it was at the time around COVID. It's very tricky some states are very tricky to enforce, because the legislature made changes to mufflers, loud music, but yeah, we do have some language that tells you can do construction from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., and there is a reference to loud noise and things like that.
Because I know the county has a noise meter. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, they do.
I've seen it, and when they passed it, I told them Sammy called me, he was crazy. I said, what on earth? By the time you get over to where the noise is and do the meter, because he went around and tried it out, and that was when they were talking to me. And I said, by the time you get over there and they realize they're under investigation, they'll just turn the music off. And I mean, you can't,
Well, I think of the wedding venue. I mean, they have DJs and bands and whatever, so they'd have to know the time cutoff. I guess nobody's ever asked. I don't
Well, if
know.
we don't have something, we ought to have something.
Yeah, I believe that is 10 o'clock.
and if you remember Liberty Baptist Church,
We on video. Remember?
they had a couple of times in the summer, they had a video in the Cortland. And this was when Paul was alive, and he said that whoever was supposed to be, whoever knew how to start the reel didn't know, and they couldn't get it started in time, so it was pretty late before it began, and so as a consequence, it wasn't over until after 11, and man, did we get the complaints, the people that lived behind it trying to sleep. So
All right.
I don't know what to say about all that, you know.
Well, maybe we need to ask them to revisit that and let's update our noise ordinance.
Rob, if you would, find out the information, get it emailed to each council member, so we're
And it
aware.
would be good if we could coordinate it. If Nathan was here, he'd be grinning. If we could coordinate it with whatever the county has, we don't want to have anything conflicting.
Well, if it's on the books prior to 2020, it's still there. We haven't rescinded it in any way, shape, or form.
I'll have to look
since I've been on
But we need to
council.
tweak.
Some
We may
emails,
need
and I
to.
think Gary actually had worked with Frank on that.
Yeah.
So I'll check to see where if they had any
Yeah.
updates or anything.
Is it on, Ms. Spiegel?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Cortland Field is so close to those houses on 2 roads.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you just can't help the noise eking over to the
Right.
homes.
Treasurer's report, Ms. Ray.
We're very close to the end of the year, so I'm really digging into the books to see if everything is landed in the right spot. And just
We have a few
trying to
days.
get ready because the auditors will be here on Tuesday to begin the first part of the audit. And we will be in audit from July until probably September, October. It's the season you dread. But, so starting to get the books ready to close and everything. So with that being said, I prepared the treasurer's report and just my gut from seeing the trending, where I think we're gonna land as far as the general fund. I know we used to seeing 300 to 400 usually as a profit, but you know, you took on some big projects, which you did complete and that was good. So I'm gonna guess, and don't hold me to it, I'm gonna think we're gonna land somewhere around 100 as a profit. For the general fund, which is unusually lower, but we did some major projects. You did the depot, you're doing the lighting, we'll talk about that in a minute too. I'm thinking the water may still come out a little negative, and then sewer is still strong. And I think the sewer this time may have a better bottom line even than the general fund. But you can remember we decided to keep the sewer rate, to hold that rate because the sewer has been strong. So I think that's a good thing. With the comment on the rates, I will be following our 5-year plan to increase the rates once the bills are released for this past reading. So you won't see an increase in your rate on this bill that you'll receive. You'll see it late July, early August. That's when you'll see a rate increase. And it will only be for water, no sewer increase. We're still in that, keeping that steady. Some of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention, and every month I'm gonna put page numbers on this. I'm still 7 years, still have the page numbers. But I just wanted to talk about the recommended budget amendments. And just, like I said, with me in the books now and getting ready to finalize them before audit and everything, I noticed some areas that we may need to do one last budget amendment because they look for, did we truly overspend without council's permission? So that's why I'm saying we gotta kind of clean up now for anything that we chose to do, but it threw it over. So one of them was the depot. That went over budget.
So I think we talked about that last time, but again, I haven't done the budget amendment because I wanted to tighten it down as close as we could. So the depot went over, we had some grants. They look at grants closely because if you receive a grant, they want you to come in as close as you can to the amount of the grant. So you see me changing the grants about $8,124. Some went up, some went down. You don't know your actual grant amount sometimes until later in the year. Depends on what the state's doing, and you don't know what you're going to get for your policemen and things like that. So I've got to tweak some of the grants. The council.
Do we know with the depot, do we know how much, now that Nathan Harbin has backed away?
I was going to say
We
that.
still have that to do.
Right, but as far as the depot, I don't know if you want to consider that as it's just a new project, doing the landscaping. Do you all consider the depot first phase done? Is that how you all look at it now? Now the landscaping will be just like a new
Yeah, and I think the
project?
landscaping will go like the whole downtown versus just the depot,
Okay.
so that it all flows, is what I was thinking.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know, but I thought that's kind of,
Well, I mean, the whole downtown, we don't have bushes and shrubs.
well, we were gonna put new trees, and then I had brought up the things for the poles, like, are we gonna, and then we gotta do the end caps for the, I think there was other spots, I guess, well, I mean, Depot takes up half of Main Street, so I guess to tie it all in.
But you just see a bigger scope, not
Yeah, I
just
just thought in
depot.
case, yes, it all flows, but I don't know, I guess it would start at the new,
That'll cover next year's budget, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to come out of next year's.
be another phase.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
the flags are wonderful up and down Main Street.
And, I'm sorry.
Love
Yeah.
them. I've had people comment.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, and I think we had talked about like exploring other ways to landscapers and stuff, and like if we could work with the high school, I think I brought that up, if there was some kind of way to work them, like get a deal out of it, and then they could invest in the, and, I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box. I know when I was in school 20 years ago, the guys right there in front of the stoplight in front of McDonald's, they did that. And now it's huge and overgrown, but our classmates did that. So if there would be something
Do they
similar.
still have horticulture?
I would assume they do,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
they
they
sell
do.
plants and stuff, yeah. I don't know, it's just in the thought, I don't
I
know,
mean, they've cut budgets and cut some
yeah.
extra classes. I just asked.
Another area too that I'm going to have to do a budget amendment is in the council department. That went over about 27.7. And the reason, I have a little detail, just in case.
Dear Lord.
The council, let me see, what did I have? We had some insurance that we didn't see that I need to put in budget, so it doesn't look like we went and spent something with no budget against it. That's what, so I need to put the insurance issue we had.
Behind us.
Yeah. The FICA, I don't know, that might have been, I don't know why I estimated that a little low, but the retreat with the, what is it, Berkeley Group?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm gonna just name that, I'm just gonna increase the line, and I'm gonna call it meetings and training, because I've heard that you all plan to continue maybe doing some things.
Yes, ma'am.
That way, the food, everything can go on that one line when y'all have these type events. So I'm gonna do a budget amendment, if that's okay, just so we don't look off this year. And then the other thing was, we had some computer equipment. Was it Text My Gov and a 720 box and a projector and an owl? Okay, y'all. Tourism went up a little bit. I'm gonna take that up about 5,400 because a pad map and some advertising and leisure media, and we worked on our we shared the cost of the historic website. So that was kind of a leap there that I think everybody agreed to, but we just need the budget to catch up with it. And then capital improvements, I think some of the vehicles and things for the streets went a little over, so, yeah. So I think we're gonna be okay, but, and then the downtown revitalization, I think that's over. I've submitted everything. We did our community projects, and I'm just waiting to hear back from Richmond that they've cleared us and it's over. It did go, we had budgeted or discussed or approved last year 500,000, but I think we're only going to need 445. I think we came in a little lower than what we had allocated out of our pocket. Okay.
That's what we'll do with the remainder, shove it back in. General fund or
Well, I
whatever.
just won't up the budget, but we used the 700,000 for the grant, but we sent back 13,000 and some because the grant is real specific to the buckets, and I think I'm not as familiar with it because I didn't come in till we were closing it on it. But I think something with a facade and not a participant, that we couldn't use that amount. So we had to let that part go. So with that being said, that's what I recommend for the general fund that I need to change. And I need a change, and it's a little sewer change in that number too, $689 difference I missed on a grant. So that's another little change. And then in the water fund, we took on a new additional debt for the Church Street water line. I don't know if y'all remember, we had to add the 1.3 to finish this project, which is like $1,300 a month, and I need to bring that into the budget. So I do have that as a budget amendment. We talked about the water meters, and legal was looking a little high. I'm giving you worst case scenario. As I look into these numbers, if it looks like something was misclassed, this may be better than this. But my first overlook, getting the books ready, this is what jumped out at me. So I'll kind of see. But I wanted to let y'all know that Christie may advertise a budget amendment so that we can have a public hearing. So wanted you all to understand and not confuse you about next year's budget. This will be the end of this year's budget, okay? So if that's okay, y'all okay with me preparing those to go on? Okay. And the other sheet I prepared for you, sometimes I guess you get kind of lost in all our projects or can't remember what we had going on. So just in the yellow at the top, I just listed the projects that we have taken on out of our pocket. And the sewer iodine and trickling filter plant, we had allocated an extra $200,000 out there for incidentals. I don't think I'm going to need the 109 left. I think we're okay. We're down to $40,644 of the $9 million project. So I don't think we're going to need that 109 coming out of our bank account. So, but we do have that still on the books and available. But I think we're okay. They're using that for the reed beds. That's what they're trying to finish up with the sewer money. The downtown revitalization, we just talked about that, the 445. That's for the extra projects that you all chose, like this lowering the sidewalk and everything. The LED street light replacement, I looked into that. I thought I didn't put it in budget this year because we thought it was complete, right? We were told it was complete, but I think it's complete on the agreement. Yeah, on the agreement, or either, so.
They actually were putting up some in the last couple of weeks, I think.
Okay, what I'm seeing is 44 lights a year, about $6,000. So I don't know if we're gonna put that out there till 28 to finish up the whole 36,000. So I did find a phone number I can call and find out. So the depot, again, without landscaping, I think we're gonna consider phase 1 done on the depot. So you all took on about 1.3 million this year, and we have about 642 left to use, but you can knock 109,000 off of that. So I think y'all did pretty good on taking on projects. Thus explains why your general fund won't see as strong this year, but you did something with the money.
Costs us more to operate too.
Huh?
It has cost us more to operate.
Right.
The general fund.
Yeah. And then down at the bottom, those are actually funded projects from either loans or grants that we've been working on. And some of those are reoccurring annually, but I just want to give you an idea what we've been looking at. So it's just a little overview. nothing much. I think I forgot to put, I see must be obligated for the ARPA fund by December 31st, 2024, expended by, I think it's 2026.
That's
Is
very
that,
right.
okay. I just stopped like, yeah, December 31st, 2026. But I do report on that every year. And the question y'all had for me last time was, can we use it for the building? For the, looking into it and the legal and all that? Yes, we can. And from the conversation last time too, I know you all were starting to get into some grant discussion from the tobacco fund for maybe potential businesses and everything. So I did, and Bob is familiar with this too, I made some phone calls from my old career and looked up the Tobacco Commission Director and Regional for our area. And she, depending on where you all want to go with this, they're in their cycle now that you have to apply by July 31st for projects to get tobacco money in your business, the economic districts and stuff. She would be willing, she said, to come speak with us, or the EDA. And I also reached out to the SBDC, which is out of Lynchburg, for small businesses, and they would be willing to come too. Now, I will say the SBDC works on donation based. Not that they won't work for you, but they do look for a municipality to give them a little something for operation. And I think Sarah with the Tobacco Commission asked me, and Rob, you might know about this. She said, I see you're not a designated downtown community or something.
They probably have Main
Supposed
Street.
to be.
That's it. That was it. Yeah. So I don't know much about that, but it just came up in the conversation. So
Gary, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because Gary's from Farmville, and I asked him that same question, because when you go into Farmville, you see that where, and he said that it is, and of course that might not be correct now, but it probably is, it's extremely high, cost high
Okay.
to be a Main Street destination.
Okay.
They have the sign up as you're going into
Okay.
Farmville. And he said, he for that.
Right.
Just to put a sign up.
And again, the only reason I brought that up is because I know the conversation kind of stirred around about getting tobacco grant money to help with businesses or business locations and things like that. So
So do you have to have that status in order to?
I got the impression no. I just, I don't know what that open doors for. I don't know what the advantage.
But I asked him that because I go to Farmville sometimes and I said,
Yeah.
why can't we do that? Why can't we? And he looked into it. He said, because it's too expensive.
Yeah, the one I had the most experience with and worked with the most was Blackstone. But they have a very long stretch of a main street. So, I don't know. Yeah.
It's cute down there.
They have a long main street, so. I did want to say too, I don't know if I told y'all this last time, but we are preparing to pull our tax rolls. So we're getting the books from the county, all the assessment to start loading for fall taxes. I think our expense will be significantly less this time because our new software, we don't need paper anymore. So it is a requirement of the county to provide the town the assessment at no cost. So I think that's all we need now, is we need that book. And then we have the gentleman going over on July 10th to load the book electronically, and then he's going to load it onto our computer. So I think it may save us about $3,000. Yeah. So I think that's it, unless y'all have any questions. Okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Fowler.
Just to kind of follow up my report from last week, we had RSG Landscaping came by and dropped off some information, so probably next week, Mary Lou and I will be meeting to talk with them about the Rose Garden project. And also, I'm going to be meeting with him about the depot, and then there's two more firms that all have basically design build features. So we're only dealing with one person to design it and plan it. So hopefully we get that going soon, but all of them so far have told me, you need to understand it'll be a fall planning project, because obviously now it's definitely that time to
Good
plan.
idea.
We have always, in the past, we've always been more than satisfied with what RSG does with the Rose Garden sites.
Well, they have been bought out by large investment firms. out of
Okay,
Florida,
then.
But yeah, they do, we do good work. We did award a new grass cutting contract to Philip Gray, who is local, so we're kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And we have completed the notification to end the trash contract. So County Waste will be taking that over late July. And they're working with GFL on keeping some of the cans. They're going to relabel them. So we're hoping that goes very smoothly. Tori's done a great job taking care of that.
What's the name of the new to us company?
Waste Co.
Waste Co.
Yeah.
And where are they out of?
I believe they're based out of Lynchburg, but they have, like everybody else, they have trucks and divisions everywhere. What else? Hopefully the ADA assessment will start the first week of July by Dominion 7, and we get an idea of where that's going to go and the cost. That's really kind of it. We're just kind of plugging along. Everybody's doing, Public Works is doing a great job working together. David and Tori are doing fantastic. And George has been picking up field work, keeping that going, and I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, that really speaks volumes.
They have all pitched in and really have kept the town going. Haven't dropped the beat. That's really all I have.
Anybody else have any more business coming from the town council at this time?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion made, properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.